This is TWiT.
Great piece, though, in the Wall Street Journal this week about Tim Cook and really celebrating Tim Cook and how, like me, a lot of people, when Jobs passed away in 2011, were concerned about Apple's future without its visionary leader. And they talk about how Tim Cook didn't try to duplicate Steve Jobs, instead found his own way, made Apple his own in a way that actually worked quite well. Instead of innovating by creating products that redefined categories like the iPhone and the iPad and the iPod, he took the existing products and made them sing and refined them and found ways to make more money with them. In fact, Apple is close to being remember when we made a big deal that Apple was a $1 trillion company?
Yeah.
It's now a $1.9 trillion company, very close. I would say this week probably will hit $2 trillion. So I think you'd have to say that Mr. Cook has done fine.
It's a little like, I mean, he is a good product guy too. Like the Cook doctrine, he took a lot of what Steve Jobs just did by instinct and made it into almost like a strategy. And the Cook doctrine by itself is that Apple will only enter categories where they believe they can provide a differentiated experience. And that's where Apple Watch, that's why they shipped Apple Watch and not the television, and why they shipped AirPods and not some of the other things that they were working on. So I think he's not the product visionary that Steve Jobs was, but he's very good at identifying markets where he thinks that Apple can make a huge impact.
Jobs told him, don't ask what I would do, as he's on his deathbed and saying, Tim, you're going to run the company. Don't ask what I would do. Do what's right. And the Journal said that's kind of what Tim Cook did. They did an interview in 2017. He said, I knew what I needed to do was not to mimic Steve. I would fail miserably at that. And I think this is largely the case for many people who take a baton from someone larger than life. You have to chart your own course. You have to be the best version of yourself.
If you're not a founder, you can't get away with some of the things a founder can get away with.
Yeah.
The maddening thing to me, though, is here we are in 2020, and there are still articles being written like this, that Tim has made Apple his own. It's like the company is worth 4 times more than it was when Steve Jobs had it. They are profitable in every stage. There are no loss leaders in this company. They've gone through losing basically the entire channel team that made it profitable under Steve Jobs, and yet they've continued their rise in profitability every single quarter. This company was his 5 years ago. Yeah. And he's, I mean, it is Tim Apple's. It is Tim Apple's company.
Yeah. And he's entering a challenging era. Of course, he was one of the 4 CEOs brought to Capitol Hill to testify before the House subcommittee on antitrust. And I thought he acquitted himself quite well. He certainly impressed me by saying, look, we are not dominant in any category we're in. We just try to do the best product.
That's what Zuckerberg said, too. That's hilarious.
Well, Mark is. There's no question about that. But
Tim was funny. Like, there was that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Gina managed to become invisible by dressing like Amy, like in beige tones, and like just so, and that was like Tim was like desaturated and very nondescript. And they didn't ask him questions for like half the thing. They forgot he was on the Zoom call.
Yeah.